Prague, the city of 100 spires. Prague is more than just another special destination. Prague is more than unique. There is no other place that comes close to being what Prague is today. It's a wonderful blend of the old and the new. It's a contemporary city with a lot of young people and some cutting-edge ideas in fashion and the arts. And yet, mostly, it's a historic gem that's locked in a time capsule. The clock stopped 40 years ago in Prague. The communists took over. Nothing changed. Now, for the past 10 years, it's been a free country, and Prague has flowered. It's the ultimate destination of our journey, and it's going to knock your socks off with its beauty, character, and charm. The prime factor that makes Prague so wonderful is the historic preservation of the city center. And it was really worth preserving, as you can see. It's a mix of Gothic and Baroque, Renaissance, Rococo, and Art Nouveau, and we're going to take you there and show you the charms of magical Prague. First, we had to get there. We traveled from London. We visited Amsterdam, Heidelberg, Munich, Salzburg, Vienna, and Budapest along the way. It's been quite a journey, and we've ended up now in Prague. The end of our journey, it's the grand climax of what has been a wonderful tour. We're going to get you there now from Budapest to Prague. We travel by train. It takes just under 4 hours. It's a comfortable trip. Kaleti train station in Budapest is showing some signs of aging. They're trying to renovate it. It's a casual place, the only station I've seen where you can just walk right across the tracks. Well, everybody does it. There's no underpasses or overpasses, and it's a shortcut instead of walking all the way around the platforms. This is a pretty casual place. Budapest was a real old-fashioned experience. We stayed in Budapest for 2 days on our tour with the Hawaii Geographic Society. It's a tour that stays for 2 days in each place that we're visiting in Germany and Holland and Austria. Now we're heading on to the Czech Republic. No, that's not us with the backpacks. We have our suitcases on wheels and we pull them through the station, and here's how we handle the baggage at the train. We have about 6 people from among the group who volunteer as the baggage handlers. And the baggage team then brings the bags on the train and puts them up on the overhead racks, and they travel in the same car with us. So not everybody has to lift their own bags over their head. Everybody does have to pull their own bags to the train station, but that's easy because the bags have wheels and the stations are level. So you just tug them along, and soon enough we are riding the rails on our way to our next destination. There's some very pleasant scenery along the way. We've passed through farm country. We can eat on board in the dining car, and it's usually excellent food on a train. They cook it right there in the kitchen, and the price is reasonable. It's usually $25 for a 3-course lunch, and it's well worth it for a number of reasons. For one thing, it's just fun. It's kind of nice to sit back and enjoy a meal. It's like you're riding the Orient Express or something, and something right out of a movie or right out of a television show in this case. So it's just fun. It's a good way to pass the time. It's tasty. It's a decent value for the money to have lunch on the train, and you can sit at the window and watch this interesting scenery glide by. Little villages in the Czech countryside now. You get to see farmlands, small towns. We go right through the heart of these little villages along the train routing. And another reason for having lunch on the train is it'll save you some time so that when you arrive in your next destination, you're well fed and you're full of energy, and you've got some snapshots to show for it as well for your scrapbook, and you're ready to go and start sightseeing. That's what we're going to do in just a moment. When we get to Prague, we're going to acquaint you with that wonderful city, the capital of the Czech Republic. Getting there is half the fun. London to Prague by train is quite an experience. This is one of the trips that we organize with the Hawaii Geographic Society. And these trips are always open to the public, and we photograph them and bring them back to you as more episodes for World Traveler. London to Prague has become a very popular itinerary. And one of the reasons for that is the charms and attractions of Prague itself. And now we have arrived. We have a fleet of taxis waiting for us, and they're going to take us right to our hotel, the Paris Hotel in the heart of the old town. The first of many trolley cars that we see in Prague. They have an extensive system of trams, and they have a couple of subway lines as well. To the Paris Hotel. It's an Art Nouveau historic landmark. It's located right in the old town. And one of the first things we want to do upon arrival is take a brief orientation walk and have a look at our surroundings. Let me just tell you what we're about to do, okay? And that is, we're just going to walk about 7 blocks to the old town square, and then basically we'll be on our own. This is a very brief reconnaissance. From the old town square, there's little streets that radiate out from it, and you could just follow any one of those a few blocks and come back to the square. You've got your map, so that'll give you some idea. The old town itself is quite small, less than a square mile, so you really cannot get lost. You'll either bump into the river, or you'll end up back at the hotel or some other landmark that you can spot on your map there. So part of the fun of being here is to get lost. Just wander around and just stroll. Don't worry so much about where you are at every particular moment. Just enjoy the old buildings around us. We've saved the best for last with this trip, and that's Prague. It's the best preserved of all the towns that we're visiting because it was not affected by the wars, wasn't bombed out in World War II at all, and it hasn't been modernized. It's just been sort of a backwater. The communist economy here was such that they didn't do any massive urban renewals in the old town. So we've got a real gem, and it's waiting for us right outside the door. Tomorrow morning, breakfast is from 6:30, mentioned in there in the restaurant, and it's a buffet breakfast. And then the city tour is actually tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. And the reason for that is we're doing the special city tour that includes a boat ride. So it's a 3.5-hour city tour. So we'll meet in the lobby at 3 p.m. tomorrow, and there'll be a motor coach component and a little bit of walking. We'll go into the castle and walk through the castle neighborhood as well, and a 1-hour boat ride with a little light refreshment served on the boat. So that's going to be fun. So tomorrow morning is free time. Yeah, just to wander about on your own. So we'll do our reconnaissance now to give you some idea of your bearings and orientation. And then we have the next day, remember? So anything that's left out of your schedule tomorrow, like if it doesn't go into a certain thing that you wanted to see, then you can cover on the final day, because we're not leaving till late in the afternoon. But we do keep that in mind. We do have really a bonus day, an extra day here in Prague. Yeah, so let's go take a look at the city. And this is just one of the medieval gateways into the old town. There's a little fragment of a wall that goes off to the side of it. And we'll see some other structures like this as we go through the city. But that's pretty nice right on our doorstep. And beautiful hotel, huh? The Hotel Paris. This is a Art Nouveau style of hotel. It's a famous place in town, one of the nicest hotels, in a relatively quiet neighborhood. Basically, the way to the old town square is around the bend, and we're going to take a right, and the road will lead us straight there. Very simple.